Welcome to Webinar 5. I will be demonstrating the Smart Ink toolbar. The first thing I'll let you know is that I'm not actually at a smartboard. I'm at my desktop computer. I had an issue with recording the Smart Ink toolbar when I was using my laptop. So I've moved to my desktop and everything should record. The only thing that will be different is I'll be writing with my mouse, not with a marker. So my penmanship may not be the greatest. First thing I want you to notice is what the Smart Ink toolbar looks like. It's this tool right here. Whatever active window you have, you will see the Smart Ink toolbar pop up. Now, one thing that may not be real obvious to you, if you grab the toolbar by this little grid looking thing, you can actually move the toolbar out of the way. Very often it kind of gets in the way of the tools that you would use to resize your window or close a window. So you can actually move that toolbar where it's less likely to interfere with what you're doing. The other thing that you'll notice is you have a way to turn the Smart Ink toolbar off. So if it does tend to get in your way, you can just turn it off and it won't appear at all. Then you also have the select arrow, just like you do in the Smart Notebook tools. You have your choice of 4 pen colors. These correspond to the colors of the pens in the tray. You also have the ability to change the thickness of the line as you draw. The checkbox for the calligraphy ink makes your handwriting appear much nicer. However, you must be connected to a smartboard to use that. You also have a yellow or a green highlighter, and you also have 3 different size eraser tools. Now over on the right side of the toolbar, you'll see there's a little camera to capture whatever it is that you've drawn on the screen, and it will take a picture of your window with your annotations, and it will put it back into Smart Notebook for you so you can use it as at a later time. Right below that we have the clear ink. It's a very quick way of getting rid of all the ink that you've drawn on your screen. There are some settings which I'll talk about in the next couple of screens in greater detail. There's also a help page, and I'll show that to you as well. So here now are some of those Smart Ink settings. First one you'll see is General Settings. This allows you to decide if you want Smart Ink to start automatically. It allows you to hide the Smart Ink toolbar until you actually start drawing over a window. This box will allow you to hide the Smart Ink toolbar if you happen to be showing a video. It would be kind of annoying to see that little toolbar up in the corner of your video, so you can turn it off if you happen to be showing a video on your computer. You will also have an option to change the ink to being more transparent, like a highlighter. You can use a drop shadow with your ink, although with some graphic cards and with some computers you may not have the system performance that would allow you to do this. You have an option to automatically erase ink after it's converted to typed text, and there's an option that gives you even more control over the line thickness. Under Microsoft Office settings, this first one affects PowerPoint. When you're doing a presentation, you can decide whether or not you want the Smart Ink toolbar to show up automatically or not. The next one here, Presenter View, you only have to worry about this one if you're working with dual displays and you need the Presenter View to be displayed. This next checkbox will disable slide navigation gestures. So that means you won't accidentally double tap when you're not planning to. Perhaps you'll touch the screen accidentally and that would move you to your next slide when you didn't really want to. Next you have the option when you are in Microsoft Office. You can decide to use the Smart Ink toolbar by default or the Microsoft Ink toolbar by default, and I'll do my best to explain the difference between those two. My preference is to use the Smart Ink toolbar. And finally, you can hide the Smart Ink pop-up windows when you are using Microsoft Office if you want to. The next setting you have under the Smart Ink settings allows you to see what components you already have installed. So you'll notice I don't have a tablet PC, so the tablet PC components are not turned on. That's why we have the red X. This will tell me what version of Windows I have. This tells me what version of Office that I have. This tells me that I have the Smart Ink plugin for the various Office tools, pre-installed PowerPoint, Word, and Excel. So when it comes time to figure out why something may not be working, it's helpful to come to this screen because it will show you what you have installed on your computer. Now, another component of that Smart Ink toolbar is the help link. This will open up a separate window. You have a little search box up here, allows you to search the content of help. You also have a way to browse the content. You have some links down here. One thing that's kind of cool, I think, is if you have a mobile device or a smartphone, if you have a QR code reader, you can actually open up the help files on that device and then be able to work on your smart notebook on your computer and not have to switch back and forth between those two windows. Now there is a comparison in the help files. It compares the difference between Microsoft Ink and Smart Ink. And again, I'll tell you, my preference is just to use the Smart Ink. It says that when you're using the Microsoft Ink tool, the ink is inserted directly into your document. Whereas in Smart Ink, it's as if you have a transparency over your page or over your document, and you're writing on that transparency. When you save your Microsoft document using Microsoft Ink, the ink is saved as part of the document. Whereas in Smart Ink, you'll need to take a screen capture using that little camera tool. That will move it over to your Smart Notebook software, and you can save it that way. The tools are very similar. The only difference is Microsoft Ink, you'll have multiple colors of pens and highlighters versus the 4 basic colors for pens and 2 highlighters in Smart Ink. You'll notice that in Smart Ink you have handwriting recognition, and I don't know if I'll be able to get to use that because again I'm using my mouse, I'm not at a smart board, but it really is kind of a cool tool to be able to go from handwritten text to typed text. And also, if you're at a smart board and you can use the calligraphy ink, it really improves the appearance of your handwriting greatly. So when you try to convert handwriting to text, you'll need to select the ink by tapping on it. And you'll see this border will appear around it. And then you have 2 tools underneath. One of them is a trash can. That will get rid of the ink. And the next one looks like a little letter A. And that's the one that allows you to convert to typed text. Now, before I do some demonstrations of Smart Ink with my internet browser, I wanted to tell you about a really cool browser add-on tool. It's free. It's called Readability. Once you've installed it on your browser, you'll see some tools on your browser toolbar that ordinarily are not there. And the one I really use a lot is this one here that's called Read Now. And what it does is it strips out all the extra elements of that web page, gives you only text. Most often it will also include the pictures, but you also have some really cool ways of being able to manipulate the font and the font size. You can also change the width of the column, and you also have control over the background color of, I guess what you would call it, the paper. So that's one that I will show you. Here's just a really quick example. This is the before view. This is an article that I found on a website. You'll notice we have all kinds of banner ads. all kinds of extra information that we really don't need to see. And after I use my readability toolbar, it cleans it up quite nicely. I have just text, no more of the extra things that were originally displayed. So having said all of that, I'm now going to switch to a website. This is an article that I found about the Olympics. And you'll notice we have all kinds of extra stuff at the top and along the sides. So the first thing that I'm going to do is click on the Read Now button from my readability toolbar, and watch how nicely it cleans this page up. And along the left side over here, I have the ability to change the appearance. You notice there's a slight difference in some of the fonts. I have a view that reverses the color of the page and the print. I also have a way to change the size of the text to make it bigger or smaller. So this really helps out a lot with students in the back of the classroom that may not be able to see the text. And I can also change the width of the column. So here I have a wider column. Here I have a narrower column. So really helpful. Now, having all of that information on the page, now I want to use the Smart Ink toolbar. So you'll recall it's up here at the very top. And now I have a choice of pens. I have a choice of line thickness. And I have a choice to use the calligraphy ink. So what I'm going to attempt to do is to draw some things on my page here. There we go. So I'm circling some things. Maybe I need to highlight some things. There we are. And remember, up on the Smart Ink toolbar then, I have the option to just very quickly clear all the ink from the page like that. Or if there's something that I wish to capture, if I wish to keep all this highlighting, what I can do is, under the Smart Ink toolbar, is to click where it says Capture. It will take a picture of that page with my annotation. So if I return now to my Smart Notebook software, you'll notice here's a picture of my Firefox browser. Here is the article, and it kept my annotations of my highlighted text. Now, one other thing that I'd like to demonstrate is how this works with Microsoft Word. So I have a very simple worksheet here where the students are to complete sentences using the correct version of the word there. And if I go now to my Smart Ink toolbar and I choose red ink, hopefully now I will be able to write with my mouse. See, I told you I'm not very good with writing with my mouse. Okay, and now what I want to do is go back up to my Smart Ink toolbar, click the select arrow, and now this is where I'm going to find out if it's going to treat it as one word or several different letters. Ah, okay, it did select it all. That's good. Remember, now I have two tools. The first one is the trash can, allows me to delete it. But then I also have the little letter A, and now it says touch where you would like to insert this text. Now what I have found is I actually need to have selected the area I want to put the text before I start to write. So you notice my cursor is already blinking in the first blank line. So make sure you do that before you start writing it. Now I'll just click in there and hopefully it will turn it into printed text. Yeah, it did not interpret my last letter R correctly. I did not do a very good job of writing my R with my mouse. And then if I want to get rid of this written text, I just hit the trash can and it's gone. All right, so I'm going to do that one more time. First of all, I'll click in my document where I want the written text to go. I'll go up to my Smart Ink toolbar and I'll select the pen. And now I'll try to write with my mouse. Oh, I'm not very good at this. I really wish I could be at my smartboard. Now I go back up to my Smart Ink toolbar, pick the selection arrow, select my text. Yeah, see, this time it only recognized part of the text. And the reason for that is I didn't write very quickly. So because there was kind of a pause in between the letter E and the letter Y, it's treating that as a different word. But that's okay. I will demonstrate how it's going to, again, convert my written text into typed text. So again, I've already selected where I want it to go. I'll click the conversion tool, and I'll touch one more time where I want the text to go. And there's the word the. I wish it could have been there, but I already explained to you why it didn't work. And then, of course, if I come back up to the Smart Ink toolbar, I can say clear all the ink. I can capture things back to my Smart Notebook file if I want to. So that's a very quick demonstration on how you can use the Smart Ink toolbar in combination with Microsoft Office, or in combination with your browser, or any other software for that matter. You have the option to capture what you've written back to your Smart Notebook file. You sometimes have the option to also convert your written text into typed text.